Audi has just launched the new A8 in India. This refresh model is now on Indian roads. It is the flagship sedan of the Audi range and packed with tech. And talking to me about the significant model and all things Audi, we have Alexander von Waldenburg-Dresel, who heads the entire region, and Balbir Singh Dhillon, the brand director, Audi India. Gentlemen, thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Alex, if I can call you that, nice and short.
Yes, makes it easier for
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. So, I want, since I've got you, just want to talk about India as a market vis-a-vis the other markets you're looking at. Obviously, a market with a lot of potential, but still a very small market. So, just from your point of view, is this a market that you are still expecting to grow, but that's been happening for the last 10, 15 years?
Allow me the comparison with a sleeping giant. Yeah, I think that describes it quite well. It's only a question of time when it will wake up and stand up to its full strength. We for sure had hoped that will happen a bit earlier, sooner. So we have done our investments to India. We have launched many models, but unfortunately, the premium segment did not develop in line with that. So we have consolidated our business model. We are focusing now on a profitable and a sustainable growth. But nevertheless, the potential is there. There is a big density of millionaires and billionaires. So the premium market should grow automatically in future. And I'm seeing first signals this year actually that the luxury market is picking up on speed now dramatically.
Right. But, the question I want to ask you, and, it's an important question even for Balbir, is, in terms of priority, let's be honest, when there are allocations, especially when there's chip shortages, is India slightly lower down the pecking order because, number one, it's not as big a market and perhaps it's not as profitable a market as some other regions, whether it's China or Europe or even the US. So does that sometimes come into play when you're looking at allocations when in this chip shortage?
I let numbers speak. Actually, we see an increase in volume sales or in deliveries this year of 50%, while other countries are falling behind last year in my region. Yeah, Singapore, for instance, is one of the case. Vietnam, other countries are not on the same level, and I think that proves that we are serving and supplying India quite well. Of course, we have planned a high budget for India. So we serve according to our budget planning. So we had already forecasted a growth this year that is helping. So every country in the world gets its fair share. And India definitely cannot complain. Yeah, although the order bank is quite high. But that is the case globally.
Yeah. Balbir, obviously you would like more than what is available, but clearly it's a good situation to be in. If there are certain shortages, but fantastic growth you've shown in this the first half of 2022. So as Alex said, it's India has actually grown while other markets have, if I'm right, have kind of kind of shrunk in that sense. So just getting your sense first is talking about let's say the first half of 2022.
So, as you know, not just this year, but last year itself, we grew by 101%. So
Right.
that's the base for us. And now we've grown by 49% this first half. So like Alex mentioned, we are getting amazing support from our headquarters because they believe in the future of India. And we know, all of us, that the full potential, like Alex mentioned, that it's a sleeping
Giant.
the day it wakes up, it'll change the whole. And we completely believe in this. The potential is there. We have very less motorization, less than 30 cars per 1,000 people. Of course, we will not reach where the West is, but even if, let's say, it doubles, it makes the whole change. Same way within automotive space, the luxury segment is just about 1%. Imagine this becoming 2%, and the same time the overall industry growing. So it is kind of multiplying the impact. What we need is a stable policy regime where we are able to do the business with peace, knowing what is coming. In between these changes that happen, that really stops our business, then we have to restart and then stop and then restart. This is the biggest challenge that we face because our planning cycles are 9 months to 2 years. We plan for next 10 years. If we don't know what the policies are going to be, it is impossible to plan. So these are one of the biggest challenges that we face, where if everything is stable, I think we can do much better.
And now the certification for tires of rolling resistance and all, is that one added challenge?
Of course, there are some other, and this adds to the challenges furthermore.
Right. Alex, I want to turn to you, because clearly you are aware of the situation now that I've got both of you together. What's the reaction in headquarters when for such small volumes, there are these kind of, let's say, I would say hurdles and complications where you have to do our own kind of, let's say, marking, whether it's ISI, BIS, obviously doesn't make sense for small volumes. So, I mean, how do you all react to that?
Actually, we fight hard. We believe in the market, and we support the Audi organization in India, wholesale as well as retail, of course. We have partners who have done substantial investments, and we feel committed and obliged to support them as much as possible.
No, but what I mean is these kind of regulations which come as hurdles. I mean,
yeah, of course.
Is that I mean, how do you react to that?
Yeah, we try, of course, to adapt our product to it. Yeah, but as Balbir described, we are working in longer development cycles, so it takes sometimes a bit longer when the regulation comes into effect. And then, of course, there's a drop in sales, which we try to minimize as much as possible, putting a lot of energy and focus on the developments. But of course, it could help if the government would show more stability in its policies and in its planning horizons. Yeah.
If I may just add, see, we in luxury segment, we have less volumes but many products, because all our customers wants all the products that are available globally. So with low volumes, we need more products. That can only happen if the policies are stable and easy. If they become more complex, we have no choices but to reduce the products. So we have to consolidate. And this is what we are, we are watching every time what we need to bring, what we not need to bring. So we have to make choices. If the policies are stable, we have much wider choice for our customers. And customers are so well traveled, they come back knowing the whole world, what is available where, and they want all of them here. They also compare the pricing. I mean, I'm not touching the topic of import duties, etc., because we've said enough on this. Just stable policy regime is where we will be satisfied with.
Right. So stable policy regime is really what I can hear, that even from global headquarters, that is the message over here. Let's talk about the A8, which is a big day today for the A8, which you've launched. Obviously this is your flagship sedan, not very big volumes, but obviously very, very important. Just to understand, what are your expectations? Who is the customer? Obviously, this comes after a while since it was launched internationally, or not too long after that. So, I mean, and is this segment growing actually after the pandemic, where people are now spending more than they used to in certain high-value luxury goods?
So, firstly about the model. So, no doubt it's our flagship model, and as a part of our top-down strategy, we always try to bring products which are at the top of the pyramid, because they are brand shapers. Wherever they move, our brand moves with these products. So this is like a trickling effect that we get on all the other products as well. So that's way very, very important. And with this product that we launched today, we want all of the cars that are seen on the road to be very unique, because now we brought in an option for the customers. Being an FBU car, every car can be customized. So every car which will be on the road, perhaps it is going to be a unique car. So this is where the personalization will come into the picture. Coming back to the bigger picture of this segment. So I think this segment has actually doubled or even more in last 2-3 years. The cars which are 1 crore plus this segment, I can also give you example of Audi Q8 Celebration Edition that we launched about a year and a half back, is doing fantastic. In fact, we continuously go back to headquarters asking for more cars. So this is really doing very, very well, and customers have come out and they're spending. And yes, we do talk about this YOLO culture, all these things. You actually see this happening on the ground. And if you see, not only in the luxury segment, but also in the volume segment, there was a time when the entry-level cars were 5-6 lakhs. I think now the entry-level cars are 8, 9, 10 lakhs. So this threshold is changing. And the segment at the top, which is luxury space, 1 crore plus, is doing extremely well.
Right. And I just want to talk to the Indian operations which you're looking at, from overall. Audi has a CKD, or what you'll call a parts and components operation over here. Uh, are we going to see that leveraged more, do you need a certain volume for that? And even the big questions: would EVs finally also be parts and components to kind of get a good cost structure as well?
That's what we monitor closely, observing, evaluating, and when the time has come, we will launch more cars in India. For the time being, as I had mentioned before, we have done a consolidation of our model structure. So we have actually also taken out diesel engines. We have reduced the portfolio a little bit. But in order to grow profitable and sustainable, that was a necessary action to take, and so far it has been successful. And even with that shrinked portfolio, we are going back to old strength. So proving that our decision was right.
And looking at investment, I mean, is Audi AG ready to invest more in India in terms of maybe just expanding the overall operations over here, or is it like Audi India has to kind of fend for itself and make money on its own?
No, we do, but it depends on the business case. Yeah, we have a businessman, and we'll always decide upon that. No subsidies in that respect, but actually we have invested in the past, as I said, for a much stronger volume or higher volume, and still with our investments we can cater our current growth plan. Yeah, easy. The dealer network can take it. Importer can take it. Factory has the capacities to grow on these levels. So we might not double every year the volume, but close to it. Yeah.
So if I may just add, so as far as ICE engines cars are concerned, our factories invested for long term. And if I see next 3 to 5 to 7 years, we don't need to invest more.
You don't need investment on ICE, but on EV there will be investment.
I have a very simple answer to this, and that is in one sentence. It's a question of when, not if. We've already, as a global company, decided to be a fully electric company. And if we have to be in India, eventually one day we will have to make electric cars. So it's a question of when, not if.
Right. And you've taken an early lead in what is just the start of the luxury EV race. Obviously, a lot of competition is coming in. Is there going to be a focus to kind of, let's say, hang on to this with more models? Obviously, you've got the e-tron, but you've got, let's say even smaller models, more affordable models in the pipeline, which is sharing platforms with Volkswagen cars as well. So is that a possibility, and maybe even a CKD operation with some of those cars?
So first of all, you are absolutely right. We believe that at the current point in time, we are market leaders in the luxury space. The number of e-trons that we sell is the highest as compared to any other competitor. And this is a very positive response, because when we started 1 year back, when we were planning, we didn't know what will be the customer reaction. But customers have taken really positively, and the demand is so good that all the cars which are coming, they're pre-sold. So that's one part of the story. Audi globally has decided to have 20 electric cars by 2025. I'm sure some of these cars will also make to India. No doubt about it. Of course, all the evaluations, everything is on the table. Whatever makes a positive business case, whether it is a product, a particular model, or if it needs to be made in India, if it is a positive business case, at some point in time, we look at it and we will invest.
Right. And, just winding up on, I want to, hear from you finally, overall on India, the future, the next 5 years. What is Audi's game plan, and where do you think India would fit in globally in that context?
In the next 5 years, you're saying?
Yes.
Actually, I think India can play a major role. Yeah, signals from Davos, World Economic Forum, are very positive that the economy will go up. Exchange rate currently also developing in our favor. I think India can be for that part of the world a key player. Compared to my countries, maybe it will be not equalizing China sooner or later, but it will be on a good move. For Asia, I think India will become number 2 sooner or later.
Number 2 in Asia. Well, that's a very, very, let's say, confident and a very positive to note to end this interview. Thanks very much and congratulations once again
Thank you.
on the new launch.
Thank you so much.
Balbir. Thank you.
Hormazd, thank you so much.